Well, in a few moments, I'm going to get up and go out and walk and do a mile and a half. And I'm doing that and I'm sharing that only because it relates to what I recently shared yesterday. And that is sometimes we just need to go out and do what we need to do. I'm reading a book right now on leadership, and I want to just share some ideas with that. In this book, the essence of what the book is talking about is investing in people rather than the organization. The idea being that when you invest in people, the organization becomes better. But when you invest in the organization and not the people, it tends to fall apart easier. I've thought about that, and I've thought about Christ and his disciples. Jesus called ordinary people, and he called them to greatness. But along the way, he challenged them. He spoke into their deficiencies, into their issues, and challenged them to be better at what they were doing. Peter is a great example of that. Peter, the one who said to Jesus he would never deny him, and yet he did. And Jesus told him he would. But Jesus said, I love you anyway. And then when Peter was challenged to go outside of Judaism, he was challenged with food that was considered unclean. All of these are examples of Christ working with the individual where they were in order to make them greater in who they were. Why? Because the gospel would be affected by how they were living and responding. I think sometimes we fail to do that in people's lives. I think we fail to do it because, well, sometimes it's uncomfortable to challenge someone in their thinking or their behavior. We instead dismiss it. And maybe we need to change that, particularly as leaders in organizations, whether it's a church or whether it's a business or a small group, whatever it is, maybe we need to learn how to challenge people to be greater than where they are right now. I know that's a challenge for me, and as I'm reading through this book, I'm challenged to think about how I do things, how I coach others, and how I lead others. Am I doing it to make them greater in who they are so that the gospel becomes a greater message in their life? I hope so. I hope you are too. So the challenge today is just think about the idea of sowing into others so that they become greater at who they are rather than focusing on the organization to which you're a part of. Think about that today, would you? Hey, until next time, God bless.